FMU, you're on the air.
Hey, Tom.
Hey,
It's Corey Harris.
Corey Harris.
Yeah,
What? I recognize that name.
you should.
Uh-huh.
I play in a band,
Uh-huh. What's the band called?
Mother 13.
Okay. You were that guy who was like signed to a major label?
Yeah,
Your
RCA.
band? And then you were like going to put out a big time record or something.
Well, we did, yeah.
Uh-huh. What was the record called?
It's called High Dive.
And how long ago did that come out?
The album came out in 2002.
Okay. And well, that's kind of 4 years ago.
Yeah.
This is all coming back to me. You were playing those festivals when you called us. Like they were like all corporate events.
Yeah.
Like what? Like what were they again? Like
Well, there was the, one we did that was a blast was the Huggies Fall into Softness tour.
Uh-huh.
And there was also the Earthlink Pringle Summer Slam Jam.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, they were great.
You were very arrogant, if I remember correctly.
Who was?
You were. I remember you were telling me that your record was going to be huge and you guys were going to play like 10 nights.
Yeah.
At Giant Stadium.
Well, yeah, that would have happened had our manager not pulled such a choke job.
Uh-huh.
And our publicist really dropped the ball, too.
Okay.
Yeah, things didn't really go that well. We ended up getting dropped.
Wow, there's a shocker.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, things kind of went in the dumper, and I ended up working at the Orange Julius at Newbridge Commons.
Okay.
But I'll tell you...
You probably have served me then.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I don't know. I served a lot of people there.
Uh-huh.
Until I got fired.
You don't work there anymore.
No.
What happened with that?
Well, I'd rather not get into it.
Okay.
You probably read about it in the police blotter under my other name, my real name.
What is your real name?
I can't really say.
Okay.
Well, it's Corey Dinkins.
Okay.
Not as good a stage name.
Not as Corey Harris.
Yeah.
No. And
So,
what did you do?
I can't say.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
Well, I fluffed into someone's Orange Julius.
Ugh. I hate that.
Well.
That's disgusting.
So things kind of bottomed out. But one thing I realized during the time that we got dropped and, we had the parting with our manager, Rupert.
Uh-huh.
I realized that I got so caught up in the whole process of becoming a star that I really lost sight of what it's all about. It's about the art and the music. It's not trying to become the next Kurt Cobain or Lenny Kravitz,
Okay. So what do you mean? You kind of taken a step back?
Well, yeah, and I'll admit it. I was kind of arrogant when I talked to you that night.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of riding high, and sometimes it just takes something like getting dropped and all that to kind of make you see how it's supposed to be. And I really kind of bottomed out. Like I said, I ended up getting married to this total skis named Sheila Larson after that, and she totally took me to the cleaners.
Okay.
No, but the high point was that we did have a son he's the light of my life.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you. He's 3 now.
Uh-huh.
And his name's Sky Stalker.
What is his name?
Sky Stalker.
Sky Stalker.
Yeah.
And what is that?
Well, Sky Stalker was a character on the Transformers cartoon. Why?
Oh, please don't tell me. Please, you just did tell me that you're I guess one of those parents who kind of gives your kid your kid is not going to want to be called Sky Stalker.
Well, I'm finding that out now.
Uh-huh.
Which it wasn't supposed to go this way because at the time that we had him,
uh-huh,
I was just days away from, I thought, getting a solo record deal, and with it a huge advance.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured we'd be able to afford to send him to a place like Newbridge Day Academy.
Yeah.
Where like the creme de la creme of the Newbridge rich set send their kids. It's this totally artistic school, and it's great. The kids actually grade the teachers there.
The kid. Wow. So
Yeah.
that is a progressive school.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
I ended up not getting the solo deal.
Yeah.
And we ended up having to send Skystalker to this public kind of preschool.
Uh-huh.
And he got beaten up the first day.
And he's 3?
Yeah.
So I guess if he's 3 and he's already getting beat up,
Yeah.
that does not bode well for high school.
Well, he's not going to public school anymore. I've been homeschooling him. I've actually got Sheila out of my life, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
So little Skystalker's all mine, and I've been trying to teach him this Mandarin Chinese. Ugh, I don't get it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to teach him Mandarin Chinese?
Because that's what you do when you're a parent.
It is?
Oh yeah, everyone does it.
You teach your kid Chinese?
Oh yeah.
Which, I mean, I have no...
Mandarin Chinese, you jerk.
Oh, wow. He called me a jerk. Oh, I'm sorry.
You don't get it either.
Yeah, you're right.
I want Skystalker to have the very best, to have the best opportunities.
Mm-hmm. But you didn't start him off with the best name.
Well, like I said, it didn't go the way I thought it was going to go.
Uh-huh.
But I do want to say,
yeah,
things are going much better now. The band's back together.
Okay.
The original lineup, it's great. And we even got back with Rupert.
Okay, your manager.
Yeah, we settled all the lawsuits and stuff, and he's back with us.
Even though you were saying he dropped the ball.
Yeah, we ended up having to pay him a lot of money.
Okay, so you paid him a lot of money.
Yeah.
And now he's back managing you again.
Yeah, no one knows us like Rupert does.
Uh-huh.
At least that's what he tells us.
Uh-huh.
So, but that's kind of why I'm calling.
All right.
I want to tell you about the incredible thing that Mother 13's going to do this weekend.
All right. What are you guys doing?
In a nutshell,
uh-huh,
you're talking to the lead singer of what's going to be the first rock band to ever play Mount Everest.
What I don't even understand what that means.
What do you mean? You don't know what Mount Everest is?
No, I do know what Mount Everest is, which is why I don't know how a rock group could play at Mount Everest. I mean, Mount Everest is gigantic.
Yeah, it's like 30,000 feet up there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to play on the tip of it this Sunday. We start climbing on Friday.
You're climbing Mount Everest?
Yeah, the whole band.
You're Mother 13. How are you going to climb it? And when you get to the top of it, if you get to the top of it,
when we get there,
I'm going to still say if you can really only stay up there for like isn't it like a half hour or so? Because the oxygen is so thin. It's like a third. It's like a third of the normal amount of oxygen.
Well, we're totally training for it. We've trained for weeks.
Really? Like, how have you guys trained for this?
Well, we did, a ton of different things. Lots of jogging at the Newbridge High School track. We also did a bunch of rock climbing at Go Climb a Rock.
What is that?
It's that hiking shop at Newbridge Commons.
What? Okay, I've seen that place.
Yeah, they have that, 20-foot wall. It's got all those bumps and nubs on it.
Uh-huh.
And you can climb it and stuff, and you come back down.
Uh-huh.
I've climbed it like 8 times or so.
Okay, so that completely qualifies you to climb Mount Everest.
Well, you mentioned that the altitude's different. There's not as much oxygen.
Yeah.
What we do is we go climb it, go grab some beers at Los Amigos, and then we climb some more, a couple more times, before going out to party some more.
Yeah.
So that kind of approximates the altitude changes.
Being drunk and doing a rock climbing wall at a shopping mall.
Yeah, I've also been doing a ton of sit-ups.
Like how many?
Like 300 a day. I'm totally cut.
I don't know if being cut is the priority when you're actually climbing Mount Everest.
Oh, it's going to be great.
I don't understand this. Like, why are you doing it?
Well, it's kind of part of a promotion, sort of.
Uh-huh.
But this whole thing's mainly about us, and I should say we also have some other people coming with us too.
To climb Mount Everest.
Well, yeah, it's the 4 of us in the band.
Okay.
Toad and Nubby, our road crew.
Uh-huh.
2 guys from the PA company, the film crew, and the special guests also.
What do you mean by? So how many people? That's 4 of you guys.
4 of us.
2 roadies.
Yep. 2 guys in the PA company,
Okay.
the film crew, there's like 8.
Okay.
There's a sound crew also, I forgot to mention them, that's 3 guys,
Okay.
and the special guests.
Who are the special guests?
Well, it's the people that are going to like jam with us. We're going to have them up for a song or 2 each.
Each?
Yeah.
Even though you've got a half hour to exist up there.
I think we can go longer. We've got these big oxygen tanks.
How are you going to get them to the top of Mount Everest?
We're going to climb it. I'm a little worried about Buddy, I got to say.
Who's Buddy?
Buddy Guy?
Buddy Guy?
Yeah.
How old is Buddy Guy?
He looks pretty old. He's probably in his late 60s.
At least.
But I think Travis will do well.
Travis? Who's Travis?
Travis Barker?
From Blink-182.
Yeah.
So your special guests are Buddy Guy and Travis Barker.
And Art Alexakakis.
From Everclear.
And Clarence Clemens.
Clarence Clemens?
Yeah.
Clarence Clemens and Buddy Guy and Travis Barker from Blink-182
Yeah.
and Art from Everclear are going to climb Mount Everest.
Don't forget the spree.
Don't forget what?
The spree.
The spree.
Yeah.
What spree?
The polyphonic spree.
The polyphonic spree are going to climb Mount Everest with you guys.
Yeah. Why?
How many of them are there?
I think they're up to 38 now.
So this is like almost 100 people climbing Mount Everest.
It's going to be a total event.
Wow, this sounds...
Oh, I forgot to mention Darren's going to be there, too.
Who's Darren?
Darren Cook,
I don't know who that is.
Dane's younger brother. He's a comedian, too.
Darren Cook.
Yeah, he's going to do a set.
So, oh my, how? What, like to warm everybody up?
Yeah.
Well, he maybe better just tell a knock-knock joke for the amount of time he's going to have. I don't know if you understand how, like, dangerous this is.
No, I think we're going to be fine. Ricky says we'll be totally fine.
And who is Ricky?
He's the Sherpa that Summit Cola hired for us.
So you have a Sherpa named Ricky.
Yeah.
And he was hired by what?
Summit Cola?
I'm not familiar with that.
Summit Cola is actually who's sponsoring this whole thing. It's this new power drink from Kernco.
Kernco, is that part of the pharmaceutical? Kern Pharmaceuticals?
I think it might be, actually. Yeah, they have a whole foods division, too.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Yeah, it's going to be a sweet deal. They pay for everything, and we pretty much only have to play and do a couple other things.
Like what other things?
Well, we have to plant the Summit Cola flag on the peak, and we also have to inflate and attach this huge soda bottle to the summit. It's 60 feet tall.
A 60-foot-high soda bottle.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to do all this stuff.
We are so. And the best thing?
Yeah?
It's going to be totally simulcast on the web.
Okay.
All you got to do is point your browser to www.summitrocks.com.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a live chat before, during, and after the concert, and it's hosted by Brian Dunkelman.
That's the guy from that was the guy from American Idol, right?
Yeah, the host.
Well, I don't know if he was the host of them. He was like a co-host for the first season.
Yeah, he got wrongly fired from what he says.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you really, I'm going to ask you politely to please rethink this.
Oh, no way. The wheels are already in motion. And speaking of the wheels being in motion,
yeah,
I can't promise you the actual first interview with me after we come down from the peak.
Uh-huh.
That Rupert has already granted to Katie Couric.
Okay.
So I do want to offer you the first radio interview.
The first radio, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I would gladly take the first radio interview.
Wow.
So when would this be?
How about this time next week?
Absolutely. I would love it. But are you going to... So you're climbing it this week?
Yeah, we start on Friday. We're going to do a little bit of acclimation stuff. Not tomorrow because we're going to have this big party here tonight.
Uh-huh. Where is here?
Nepal.
You're in Nepal now?
Yeah, we got here today.
Oh, wow. That's exciting.
Yeah.
So Do you understand? Do you understand how hard it is to exist with these guys? Like, I mean, what are you going to eat when you climb this thing?
Oh, we have all kinds of Summit power bars.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to be eating power bars.
Yeah, do you think we'll need more?
I just...
We've got like 300.
Okay, between 100 people.
Well, Clarence has already eaten 20 of them.
Okay, so you've got 280 between about you might want to bring more of them.
Ricky says we're going to be fine, like I said.
I mean, you realize how many people die trying this.
Yeah, Ricky said that some people die because they didn't hire him.
Well, I guess next week is going to be very interesting.
Oh, man, I can tell by the tone of your voice that you don't think we're going to do this.
Well, I'm taken aback a little bit. You're saying that you get it now, that you went and you, like, got back in touch with what was important about music.
Yeah.
And then but then you follow it up by just doing a stunt. And a dangerous stunt.
Well, you're going to eat your words when you talk to me next week, and I'm the most famous guy in the world, in the most famous band in the world.
Okay, well, next week should be very exciting. I'm definitely looking forward to this interview, and I'm hoping you're okay.
Oh, I'll be okay. I'll have Rupert's office get in touch with you later in the week to set it up, okay?
Please do.
All right, I'll talk to you this same time next week, you schmuck.
Well,
you're going to eat your words.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Please be safe in all seriousness.
We're going to be fine.
Oh, okay.
I can't wait to get up that hill.
It's more than a hill. It's a mountain.
I know, it looks pretty tall. But,
yeah.
you know, like I said, those sit-ups have done their job.
Uh-huh. I really hope you're okay.
I'm going to be fine. It's you I'm worried about, eating all that crow.
Well, we'll see how that goes when we'll cross that bridge when we hopefully get to it.
Okay, dummy. Well, I'll talk to you next week.
Okay.
All right.
Best of luck.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Corey Harris. Corey Harris is going for it. He's Mother 13, and about 90-something other people are going to climb Mount Everest. So this is very exciting. We last week we spoke to Corey Harris from the band Mother 13. His band Mother 13 was going to perform a full concert at the top of Mount Everest after they climbed to the top of it, and they were going to perform a concert. I believe it would have been Saturday. Here it is. The number Summit Cola gave me. Let me see if I can dial out here.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Dr. Stonefeld?
Who is this?
Dr. Hannah Stonefeld?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking for Corey Harris.
Corey Dinkins?
I think his name. Oh, that's right. His name. He said his name was Corey. Yeah, that's it. Corey Dinkins. Yes.
Yeah, he is here.
Oh, who is this?
Dr. Hannah Stonefeld.
A doctor. Okay, doctor. Is he okay?
He has been upgraded to stable condition.
He's been upgraded. Oh my God.
He has been through a very difficult ordeal.
Yes, he was climbing Mount Everest.
Yes, I guess you could say that. Do you want to talk to him?
Oh, I can. I can.
You can talk to him for just a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
Keep in mind he has been in a very agitated state, and he has been through a very difficult ordeal.
Okay, I definitely will, doctor.
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Are you up with this? Are you up with Hello?
Corey?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Tom. Tom Scharpling from WFMU.
Oh. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing? I guess that's the question.
So you haven't heard anything?
No, I actually went on the website you'd given out. I kind of lost touch with what you were doing. How did the climb go? The Mount Everest climb.
It was a nightmare. So high, so cold. Couldn't breathe. Why couldn't that evil hill take me to?
What do you mean take you? Did somebody die on the trip?
Yes. At least I think so.
Oh my God! Who died?
Oh, I haven't seen anybody since Saturday.
Uh-huh.
I haven't seen any of the guys in the band.
Uh-huh.
Jared, Randy, Pete, or Ricky, or Toad, or Nubby, or the guys from the PA company,
Mm-hmm.
or the 8 guys in the film crew, or the sound guys,
Oh, wow.
or any of the guests that we had.
So you haven't seen any of them?
No. Oh, I'm in Kathmandu right now.
Are you in a hospital?
Yes. Did you talk to my doctor?
Yes. She said that you were upgraded to stable condition.
She has a mustache.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry, I kind of spaced out for a second.
So what happened, Corey?
Well, my memory is still somewhat shaky, but I'll tell you what I told the authorities today.
Okay.
I really haven't even been conscious until earlier today.
Okay.
What day is this?
This is Tuesday the 9th.
Oh, so it's a week after we talked.
Yeah, we talked about a week ago.
Well, basically what happened was, what I can recall, on Thursday, we had this pre-climb throwdown at this bar in Nepal called the Drunken Yak.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it was so much fun. Clarence Clemens, he was one of our guests from the E Street Band.
That's right, yes, from Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band.
Well, he brought his sax along, and we all jammed on Bruce and Red Bank Rockers tunes. But, Art from Everclear...
Yeah, Art
Alexakakis.
Yeah.
He was being kind of a dink.
Uh-huh.
Until Buddy Guy...
Yeah, Buddy Guy, who was also one of your special guests.
He was with us. Buddy told him to shut his cracker pie hole.
Uh-huh.
And then Art kind of loosened up.
Okay.
And the Polyphonic Spree guys, they were cool too. All but 5 of them.
Okay.
And we were just kind of partying and drinking and stuff. And then afterwards...
Uh-huh.
We ended up playing a game of football using this hardened chunk of yak dung as a ball.
So you guys were having a lot of fun out in the snow.
It was great. We were pretty much bonding before our trek.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't get back to the hotel until around 4 a.m., which in retrospect was a bad idea. And it was also a bad idea to bring those 2 waitresses back to my room.
You brought 2 waitresses back to your room.
We had Travis Barker. He was with us too.
He's from the band, he was, I guess, Blink-182 are not together currently.
Right, yeah, they're not happening anymore, but that gave him time to come on this expedition.
Mm-hmm.
He and I had the munchies after partying.
Yeah.
So we stopped off at this cafe.
Okay.
And there were these 2 cute waitresses on duty, and, well, one thing led to another, and we ended up, going all night.
Mm-hmm. Which is the day before you begin this expedition?
Yeah, they had rails.
What, a Coke?
Yeah.
Okay,
Why?
So you were doing cocaine before you went on this journey?
Some.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, we're pretty much hungover the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't get up until around 3.
Okay.
And we ended up not getting roll until around 3:30,
Uh-huh.
which was about 10 hours after we were supposed to start.
Okay.
But, I can't get rolling until I've had my coffee and eggs.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
weed.
And weed, okay.
Did I mention Ricky?
Who's Ricky again?
Our Sherpa.
Oh, that's right, the Sherpa.
Ricky's first mistake
Mm-hmm.
was telling us that we didn't need to take all these extra days, weeks actually, to acclimate ourselves to higher altitude.
Uh-huh.
So that late afternoon, nighttime, we stop at base camp at Everest to get more snacks.
Uh-huh.
Ricky said there was going to be a convenience store at base camp,
Okay.
but there wasn't.
Uh-huh. Well, why did he say there would be one?
I don't know. He was weird. But luckily we had enough food already, and it was so strange because the other climbers who were already at base camp
Mm-hmm.
from other expeditions,
Yeah.
they were acting really strange because on the one hand, they wanted to tell us that we were going way too fast and that we were in big trouble. But on the other hand, they were kind of starstruck by us because we were all famous rock stars.
Uh-huh. Well, not all of you, but...
I know Buddy Guy's not that famous in the rock world.
Or, whatever. Or Mother 13 is really not famous yet.
Wait. What? I later found out why Ricky wanted us to keep going through base camp
Why is that?
and not stop.
Uh-huh.
It's because Summit Cola, who was sponsoring the thing, wasn't going to pay him anything unless we made it to the summit.
Okay.
It turns out that Ricky wasn't even from Nepal at all.
Where was he from?
Michigan. He was a former employee of Kern Pharmaceuticals, and apparently he helped develop this dessert called Chocolageddon.
Yeah, which I I had an experience with Chocolageddon, which actually made me very ill.
I guess it made people like you really sick, and Kern had to pay all these fines to the government.
Mm-hmm.
And leading the Everest ascent was the one way that Ricky could pay back his debt to Kern Pharmaceuticals.
He had a whole other agenda.
Totally, and he had to have proof that he made it to the top.
Mm-hmm.
He talked a really good game, but it turned out the closest Ricky ever got to a mountain was seeing a Leslie West concert.
Oh my God! So the guy who you were trusting, he was not. He had no idea what he was doing.
He was as prepared for this summit ascent as Custer was for Little Bighorn.
Wow.
So we just kept going through base camp up to Camp 1, which is like 19,000 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it was so tough. Buddy Guy was already unconscious by that point, so Ricky put him in Pete's bass drum case, and me and a bunch of guys from the spree pulled him up behind us. But eventually Buddy got too heavy, and the air was getting thinner,
Uh-huh.
and we had to leave Buddy behind in what we told him was a blues igloo.
A blues egg. Oh my God.
Why are you laughing?
Because that's horrible. What was a blues igloo? What was it actually?
It was basically a snow grave. Why?
So when is the last time you heard from Buddy Guy?
Well, he was pretty out of it as we were kind of making our way away, but I heard him kind of mumbling some blues riffs that sounded, truth be told, he was not at top game because he was shutting down.
Uh-huh.
Sounded to me like outtakes from what I imagine Get a Haircut sounded like.
What is Get a Haircut?
It was a late 80s, early 90s George Thorogood album.
Uh-huh. So Buddy Guy, what is his status now?
I don't know, but by the time we ended up getting to Camp 1,
Uh-huh.
we were totally just fried and pretty much out of our minds. We didn't know which way was up.
No, how far is Camp 1 from the top of the mountain?
Camp 1 was like 19,000 feet. But like I said, the air was really thin.
Mm-hmm.
And we, truth be told, already wanted to stop by this point and do the concert there.
At Camp 1?
Yeah.
Which is, if that's at 19,000 feet, how far away is that from the top?
We're still 10,000 feet away.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Oh, it was rough.
Now, can I ask you, is Buddy Guy, is he dead now?
Define dead.
Not living?
Define not living.
Not breathing.
Yes.
Oh, my God. So you wanted to do the concert at Camp 1.
Yeah, but Ricky said we had to keep pushing on to Camp 2, which was another 2,000 feet, which at that altitude is, like, not doable for, I'll admit it, people like us who really weren't that in shape. Yeah, I did 300 sit-ups a day, but I wasn't in shape.
You weren't ready for what this was, the toll this was taking.
And when Clarence heard that we had to keep going, he started to go nuts.
Clarence Clemens.
Yeah, he kept yelling about how the big man can't climb no more, and that he was going to stick his horn in Ricky's bottom.
Okay.
And Travis Barker,
yeah,
he was also complaining.
Oh my God, that's the most gruesome sound I've ever heard.
Well, if you had this much fluid in your lungs, you'd be doing that too. So don't judge.
I'm not judging.
Travis was really complaining too about the high altitude and the harsh cold and what it was doing to his lip ring. It was turning green, and he couldn't get it out of his lip.
His lip ring was turning green.
Yeah, it's sort of his trademark, and he was worried that it was going to get frozen to his lip. And that's when we had our first, well, technically, I guess our second fatality.
Okay.
Art from Everclear.
Yeah.
He was trying to get Travis to chill out. But Travis was getting more and more angry. And the two of them started fighting. And Travis ended up throwing Art down the mountain.
Oh, my... So Art from Everclear...
Yeah.
He's dead?
I think it's safe to say that he bit it.
Oh, my God.
It's like into thin air times 700.
So who's left at this point? It's the guy... It's you guys.
It's the guys in the band.
Yeah.
Ricky, Toad and Nubby, the PA company, the film crew, the sound guys... Travis, Clarence, the Spree, and Darren Cook.
And who's Darren Cook again?
Dane Cook's brother, the comedian.
Oh, that's right.
And Darren is a comedian in his own right. Who's funnier, I think.
You think Darren Cook is funnier than Dane Cook?
Oh, definitely.
Well, that's a pretty hard bill to top, but...
They're both top shelf. When Art did it, that really made us kind of take a step back and reassess what we were doing, and we started to really make the climb up to Camp 2. So by this point, we're towing Clarence and 10 of the Polyphonic Spree people, because they've given up, basically.
Okay. And when you say you're towing them, that means you're pulling them?
Yeah.
Up the mountain?
Yeah, and the Polyphonic Spree people, all of them, 38 of them, they forewent their crampons. Do you know what crampons are?
I have no idea what that is.
Crampons are these like bladed things that you slip over your climbing boots, and they dig into the mountainside for traction.
Sure, I know what you're talking about.
They didn't want to wear them because aesthetically it wasn't their thing. They were dressed in like, heavy hiking gear, down vests, but with their robes over top.
With those white robes they wear.
Yeah, and Converse All-Stars.
They were wearing Converse, like climbing a mountain with Converse All-Stars?
I told them, you guys are whack, but they wouldn't listen to me.
I'm with you on that one.
It's whack, isn't it?
The word whack is kind of not my thing, but...
Okay, I didn't know you weren't hip-hop.
Yeah, I'm not
like
hip-hop.
me. So At that point, we're just climbing blindly.
Mm-hmm.
It's whipping up, snow and wind. We don't know what's happening, and we're climbing for what felt like a day and a half.
Okay.
And we couldn't even see anymore, and we're so exhausted, and the snow was blinding. And then finally, Ricky announces that we're on the summit.
Okay.
Oh my God, we were so happy. Tears were streaming down our cheeks.
I can imagine.
And freezing on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we take a second to kind of chill.
Uh-huh.
And then we set up our gear, which was hard because of the wind and the snow. And also our hands could barely move.
Uh-huh.
And Nubby and Toad, our roadies,
Yeah.
they set up the computer for the online chat with Brian Dunkelman.
Yeah, was he there?
No, it was via the internet, and amazingly, that all worked.
Oh, so you did have the online chat.
Yeah, we hitched into a satellite feed.
Okay.
And so we're in the chat, and it was really hard because I couldn't type because I was so cold.
Uh-huh.
And I kept falling behind.
In the conversation.
In the chat with all these kids and all these Mother 13 fans.
Okay.
But it was tough, and it was really bad because people kept taking the chat off topic.
How so?
Well, a lot of kids were just saying stuff like, dude, it's so cool that you guys are on the mountain typing, and I'm in my room in Peoria, stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And then talking about Ashley Simpson's nose job.
Yeah.
And they were also using these abbreviations that I couldn't understand, like, maybe you know what these are. NFW.
Yeah, that's like no blank way, I think.
Okay. TTYL.
Oh, talk to you later.
And SOG.
I think SOG is actually, SOG is straight or gay.
Well, I'm glad I didn't know what that meant. But anyway, I kept trying to get Dunkelman to steer the conversation back to Mother 13.
Sure.
But my fingers were turning black by this point.
They were turning black.
From frostbite.
Oh.
And he kept having to plug Summit Cola every 2 seconds.
Brian Dunkelman.
Really frustrating.
And Summit Cola is the sponsor of this.
Exactly.
Event. Okay. So now you guys are, let me just set the stage.
Yeah.
You guys are at the summit.
Uh-huh.
Set up now.
Uh-huh.
Doing an online chat.
Uh-huh.
At the top of Mount Everest.
Uh-huh.
So what happens next?
Well, we were having such a hard time breathing that we realized, and you were right about this, I'll give you this, we could only stay up on that summit for half an hour max by this point.
Mm-hmm.
So the film crew gets into position, and then Darren Cook starts doing his opening set of comedy.
Okay, so it starts off with Darren Cook.
Well, only he's so cold that he can't speak.
Uh-huh.
And he gets halfway through this MILF joke.
Yeah.
And his eyes roll back into his head, and he died.
Oh, my God.
It was awful, my God.
So Darren Cook, in front of you,
yeah,
drops dead at the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've never experienced anything like that, except for when Buddy died.
Uh-huh.
And when Art died. So we pick up our instruments.
Uh-huh.
And they're pretty much frozen.
Yeah.
And the amps, they're barely working, but they are kind of eking out frog fart power.
Okay.
And we launch into our first song, Led Zepp's Misty Mountain Hop, which we thought would be really apropos.
Yeah, kind of clever.
Yeah, but my mouth got stuck to the mic the second I sang the word walking.
Which is like the first line of the song. Yeah.
But the band keeps playing. But Jared, our guitar player, his chorus pedal came loose, and it starts to slide down the hill, and Toad tried to retrieve it, but he ended up sliding down the hill until he's like hanging off of his ledge.
Uh-huh.
And Jared keeps yelling at him, Get back up here! Get back up here! You bring that pedal back! And Toad's still dangling there. And by this point, Nubby, he slides down to help Toad, but he was going too fast. And he ended up going over the ledge, and his crampon got hooked onto Toad, and it took Toad over too!
My God.
It took Toad over too.
Wow. Oh, my God.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
So, by this point, we're in total shock. But Clarence had it the worst.
Clarence Clemens.
Yeah.
Why is that?
We couldn't find him. We thought he wandered off. But then I hear Ricky. Ricky's yelling. And I make my way over. I can't even see, the snow still blinding.
Yeah.
And I still got the mic stuck to my face.
Uh-huh.
And I'm shocked to find that Clarence is eating Darren Cook.
Oh, my
He'd
God.
resorted to cannibalism. Which was weird because we still had like 100 of those power bars left. And at least several bags of yak meat.
Oh, my God. That's horrifying. So Clarence Clemens, you see Clarence Clemens and he's eating another human.
Just chawing down like it was he was at Boston Market or something.
That's horrifying.
Ricky said that Clarence was succumbing to snow madness.
Snow madness.
And that explains what happened next.
Uh-huh.
Clarence looked up.
Yeah.
He starts glaring at Ricky.
Yeah.
He looks rabid. He must have had this huge adrenaline rush because he sprang up and he started chasing Ricky. He kept calling Ricky Pete.
Pete.
Yeah, and he was saying, I'm going to eat your heart out, Pete, you banjo-plucking a-hole. And then we realized that Clarence was hallucinating, that Ricky was Pete Seeger.
He thought Ricky, the Sherpa,
Yeah.
was Pete Seeger.
Yeah. I didn't want to bring this up, but you know what Bruce is doing right now?
Yeah, he's got that album now that's the old Pete Seeger songs.
Exactly.
And he's touring with, okay, I think I can probably guess where.
You'll notice who was absent from that tour.
Yeah.
The big man.
Wow, so he thought that Ricky, the Sherpa, was
Pete Seeger.
Uh-huh.
And the snow's coming down even harder at this point. And they both ran off in the distance. And that was the last I saw of them. So by this point, we abandoned the whole concert, and we were trying to figure out how to get back down. And even though Ricky hardly had any idea what he was doing, he did know more about climbing than any of the rest of us. And now it's that guy Tim's turn from the Polyphonic Spree.
Yeah.
It's his turn to go nuts.
And what happened with him?
Well,
he's the main guy in Polyphonic Spree.
He kind of leads them. People say it's like a cult. And from what I could tell, it is. Tim starts telling the other members of the spree that the time has come and that it's time to meet the great space boat. And he was saying that everyone has to jump off the mountain if they want to join him and David in the new world.
Who is David?
David Bowie.
I don't even understand. So he's...
Well, the way Tim was sort of talking about it was that David Bowie is the pilot of this space boat. And that everyone had to jump off the mountain, and in midair they'd be caught by the space boat, piloted by the Thin White Duke. And no one in the polyphonic spree wanted to do it, but unfortunately, they were all tethered together, and when Tim jumped, the rest of them went with him.
All 38 of them?
Yes! Why?
Oh my God. By the way, Corey, just easy on the toilet talk.
What did I say?
When you were describing Pete Seeger.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I apologize for bringing up. This is not the perfect time for me to mention something like that while you're crying, but...
Why are you asking me to tone down? I'm not on the air, am I?
Of course you are.
What?
Well, that's what we're doing. We're doing the follow-up interview.
But Rupert promised the first interview to Katie Couric.
Well, this is the first radio interview. You said you set it up.
I haven't talked to anybody yet.
Well, I kind
Now
of...
I feel gypped. Why didn't she call me?
I have no idea.
Oh, that hurts worse than those people dying.
What hurts worse? The fact that...
Well, you heard about her big raise and promotion, didn't you?
Yeah.
She's like top dog, or should I say dog-ass?
Yeah.
Well, I guess if she's a dog, it's acceptable to say bitch.
Oh, yes.
No?
You're right. It's acceptable. So who's left at this point? I think that you lost your two roadies.
Yeah, I lost Nubby and Toad. Croaked.
Okay.
The band are still with me.
Uh-huh.
Jared, Randy, and Pete.
Okay.
And all the sound guys, etc., film crew, and PA company are still alive.
Okay.
But wait, there's more.
Oh, I wish there wasn't more. This is so painful.
What's the worst thing that can happen on a mountain?
Avalanche?
Bingo!
There was an avalanche.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Remember Nubby and Toad?
Yeah.
Well, they were also in charge of pyro.
Yeah.
Well, before they died,
Uh-huh.
they programmed the pyro to go off. But I should say, right before that happened,
Uh-huh.
everybody was fighting, and it got really violent. And Pete, our drummer, he came after me with his crampon. And he said that all he wanted to do was stay in law school, and that he was going to die on this mountain because of me.
Uh-huh.
And then he had the crampon up to my throat,
Yeah.
and I got really mad.
Uh-huh.
Tom,
Yeah.
I was madder than a rattlesnake at a Thai wedding.
I can imagine. So what happened?
I lost it, and I killed him
You killed the drummer to your band.
with my oxygen tank, which was dumb because then I couldn't breathe at all. But it didn't matter because, as you guessed, there was an avalanche that happened when the pyro that Nubby and Toad timed and set went off, and it went kaboom, and there was a wall of snow, and it flattened us. But somehow I was able to ride it, and the next thing I know, I'm at base camp again. Alive!
So you rode the avalanche all the way to the bottom of the hill.
Yes.
Well, that sounds amazing.
It was incredible. And as far as I know, no one else survived.
So everyone else.
I think they all died.
How many people were on this trip altogether?
Well, you got the 4 in the band.
Yeah.
Ricky,
Okay, 5,
Toad, and Nubby.
6, 7,
2 in the PA company.
8, 9.
The 8 film guys.
That's so 9. That's 17.
The 3 sound guys.
20.
Buddy guy.
21.
Travis.
22.
Art Alexakakis.
23.
Clarence Clements.
24. Yeah, the big man. 24.
Darren Cook.
25.
Me.
26.
And the 38 people in the polyphonic spree.
Okay. Wow. What is that? 64 people?
Yes. Oh,
And only you survived.
oh poor Trent.
Who was Trent?
Trent L. Strauss.
The filmmaker?
Oh, you knew him?
Knew him?
Yeah.
So he died too? Well,
I think so.
what was he doing there?
He was the director of the film crew that was doing the documentary. Oh, his last words to me were how he had to stay alive, if not for his children, then for the premiere of The Tooled Out Killer in September.
So he just wanted to stay alive for the premiere of his movie.
Or his kids.
Or his kids. Wow, those are very meaningful last words.
And he said he was going to get this award in Belgium next month.
They do like him, and they did. Well, I guess they did like him in Belgium.
It was for Face Peelers 3. Oh my God, it was so tragic. You know what I'm going to do, though?
What's that?
Did I mention my dear boy last time I talked to you?
Your son.
Sky Stalker.
Yes, who you named after. What was that again?
He was a character on the Transformers cartoon.
Which is always great when parents give their children names like that. But let's go.
I'm sensing some sarcasm.
Well, let's. I'm sorry. Let's move forward.
Oh. Anyway, I'm going to honor my fallen brothers. And I think there were 2 chicks in the spree, too. Oh, and those 2 waitresses, I forgot them.
Okay, so that's 66 people.
Yeah, I brought the 2 waitresses who I mentioned up, too.
That's right, okay.
I was showboating. I wanted to impress them. Oh.
So you're going to honor them?
Yes, by changing Sky Stalker's name to something that includes the names of all of my fallen climbers.
What would that be?
Well, something like, I don't know, Rick, Bud, Trav, Toad, Nub, Tim, Trent, Jared, Rand, Big Man, a bunch of other stuff. I still don't know how I'm going to do it all. Or incorporate the film and sound crew guys, let alone the 37 spree people. And I've decided I'm not going to honor Pete because he was so mean to me, or Art because he was a creep.
So you're not going to honor a couple people there?
Why should I?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe because... Oh.
The worst thing, and I wasn't going to admit this or mention it, it turns out that we didn't even make the summit.
You didn't make the summit?
No. When the storm hit and we kept on climbing for that day and a half,
yeah,
the wind was so hard that it turned out we only made 50 feet of progress.
You thought you had gone another 1,000 feet.
And we never, more than that, and we never even left Camp 2. We thought we climbed like 10,000 feet.
Well, how high did you actually climb?
We only made it like 50 feet out of Camp 2, which was like 21,000 feet. Ricky wanted us to think that we'd made it to the summit so he could tell Kern Pharmaceuticals that the debt could be erased.
So how tall is Mount Everest?
29,000.
And how high up it were you?
21 max, probably less.
So you had another 10,000 to go.
Yeah. In a way, it couldn't have gone worse, huh?
Yeah.
But there is a bright spot.
And what's that?
Well, that leads me to something I wanted to ask you.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any connections to the publishing world?
A couple minor connections.
'Cause I'm writing down notes for a book I'm writing called A Hero's Journey. It's about one man's journey to the summit of Everest.
Well, who would that be?
What do you mean?
Well, it's not you.
It certainly is.
Well, you didn't make it to the summit. You fell 10,000 feet short.
But no one else has to know that.
Well, you just told everybody on the radio.
Wait, I'm on the radio?
Yes, I told you
Why
that.
didn't you tell me?
I told you that at least 2 times.
Who did?
Me.
Oh, no. what you gotta do,
Yeah.
you gotta get the names and addresses and emails of all your listeners who are listening right now,
Uh-huh.
and get them to email Summit Cola with all that info so I can send them contracts saying that they're not going to tell anybody.
Tell anybody that you didn't make it to the top of the summit.
Yeah.
Well, you just said it again on the radio.
They got to sign it again then.
I don't know why you chose to do this, Corey. As horror. Look, I am so.
It all looks so good on paper, don't you think?
No, it looked terrible on paper. I told you last week this would be a disaster. I'm sorry that all of this horrible stuff happened.
But you're such a stupid dink that I thought you were wrong.
Well, I don't know what to say.
Oh, man. Well, you could say that you're getting those email contacts of your listeners.
I can't count on that.
Why?
Why? Because it's not my job, and I don't know how many people are listening.
Why?
Why what?
Oh, man, come on. I'm on my back here in Kathmandu with this nurse who's got a thick mustache hovering over me and touching me.
Ugh.
I didn't want to say that, but I have. Oh, no, here she comes.
Oh, my God. Wow. I thought it would be a disaster. I didn't think it would be that bad. I didn't think everybody would perish at the top of it. I didn't think everybody would. Wow. This kind of puts a damper on the show. Wow. Got to recover from that. That was intense.